When it comes to prenuptial agreements, you'd expect lawyers to have pretty ironclad contracts to cover their own relationships. Well, after 15 years working as a family lawyer, one Sydney woman has left nothing to chance, detailing everything in her prenup, from her $30,000 designer shoe collection right down to the bed linen and Tupperware. Joining us now to talk about the practice is Simon Creek from HHG Legal. Good afternoon, Simon.
Hello, Tracy.
Is it necessary to be getting down to that kind of detail to properly protect yourself?
Look, I hate disagreeing with colleagues,
Okay.
particularly about their own personal decisions, but I would take a very, very different approach. The simpler a prenup or a BFA, the better.
Okay, so what are the basic boxes you should be ticking for a strong prenup?
The most critical thing is to get independent legal advice on both sides. Without that, the agreement will be turned over. And you've got to give full financial disclosure. So to the extent that she has disclosed a very expensive shoe collection, that was the right thing to do.
Okay.
But to then worry about the Tupperware collection and the sheets, that's just OTT.
Yeah.
And I think it goes to the core of the agreement perhaps being overturned at some point.
Yeah, absolutely right. As the name suggests, though, are prenuptial agreements just for couples who are getting married?
No.
Okay.
Really good question, in that you can enter into them at any time, before, during and after, as a means of actually dealing with a property settlement.
Now, the lawyer that we were talking about just earlier also talked about protecting herself from backdoor claims through a de facto relationship. So what are some of those back doors a de facto status can open up?
I think, to be fair, a de facto relationship can creep up on people. You end up, having a toothbrush in both houses. Before you know it, somebody is actually saying, look, we've been cohabiting for 2 years, and you are faced with a property settlement claim or a spousal maintenance claim. It's important to be very clear with each other and to have some documentation that shows whether you are cohabiting or whether you are simply perhaps friends, maybe friends with benefits.
Okay, right. For those not comfortable with the idea, Simon, are there other legal precautions you can put in place without having to commit to a prenup?
There are, but they're even more complicated.
Yeah.
A prenup is definitely the way to go for every couple. You can use family trusts, you can use companies, you can use other forms of written agreement. But in my view, as a family lawyer, these are far, far more complicated and more risky than using a prenup or binding financial agreement, as we call them now.
It all sounds too complicated for me. All right, Simon Creek, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.